Welcome back to the last segment that is the Surround Sound Podcast, sponsored by SEA-nominated Small Business of the Year, 91 Restoration Kings. This is the sign of the times. The title for this sign of the times is Walking Affirmation. It's amazing because what I'm about to say lets me further know that what you think truly is, I won't say it happens just like what you think, but what you think happens. So you have to be very guarded on your thoughts. I was trying to decide what the mantra for 2022 was going to be. I had three things. I had something that I had made up. I had a quote from Maya Angelou, and I had a quote from Andrew Carnegie. For any of us that have been friends on Facebook, y'all know Monday through Friday morning, I post the same mantra for the whole year. I've been doing it now for about 6 years, 5-6 years now, 7 years. I don't know. One of them, I think since 2012 or so. And I was vexed because I didn't know which one I need to I was like, which one of these truly encapsulate how I feel right now and where I want to go for the year. And it wasn't Maya Angelou, because Maya was like, hey, regardless of what somebody says, I'm paraphrasing, of course, regardless of what somebody says, you're still going to rise. Andrew Carnegie spoke to whatever, if a man can, or man or woman, if a person can control their mind, then whatever they are richly deserving of, that person will get. Just wasn't quite it. And then the last one that I made up was basically saying, hey, you have to go for what you want, because if you don't go for what you want, you'll never know what you can get. All three of those. Nah. But I was like, before Tuesday get here, before midweek get here, I'm going to have one. I'll find it. It'll find me. And it did. Late last night, I'm on Facebook. I'm looking at a freestyle by BlackThought of The Roots. And what he said stood up and stared me in the face. And this is the mantra for 2022. I'm a walking affirmation that imagination, focus, and patience get you closer to your aspirations. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. That was it right there. BlackThought of The Roots said, I'm a walking affirmation that imagination, focus, and patience can get you closer to your aspirations. Energy is so important. As we talked about on today's show, when it comes to sports, momentum can carry you it can carry you a long way. It has carried the Tennessee Titans to the brink of the conference championship and to the brink of a Super Bowl. It has taken a Memphis Grizzlies basketball team 2 double-digit winning streaks in the same year. Well, how does energy and it being contagious, how did it really transpire, and how did it make its way through both of those organizations? Well, you have to remember, last year, the Tennessee Titans lost in the first round. They needed some offense. They needed some defense also. But the big acquisition in this past offseason was Julio Jones. A.J. Brown and fellow Alabama alum Derrick Henry were on record as being those that recruited Julio to Tennessee. They had to know Julio had the proper energy for the team. See, this Tennessee, and teams tend to take on the identity of where they are. This ain't New York. This ain't LA. This ain't South Florida. This ain't ATL. These are not high-flying teams. This isn't like a Hollywood-esque town. You gotta work. This is a working class town. My collar ain't blue for no reason. They had to know that Julio had the work ethic for this team. And although Julio has been out, his words apparently have resonated highly. Well, let's go to West Tennessee. Let's go to Memphis. It has been said that the brass, the front office of the Memphis Grizzlies have purposely picked players that have a chip on their shoulder. More importantly, they made the same team that they had back here before the turn of the decade. The Memphis Grizzlies now are the same as the Memphis Grizzlies then. Only thing is, they are younger and the pieces that they selected are actually panning out. See, O.J. Mayo and Rudy Gay, they were supposed to be the Jaren Jackson and the Ja Morant of that era of the Memphis Grizzlies. Only thing is, it turned out that they didn't pan out. And Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol and grandfather himself, Tony Allen, happened to be the marquee names of that team. And that's what created the grit and grind culture. Well, guess what? Steven Adams is Marc Gasol. Triple J is Zach Randolph. Ja Morant, Mike Conley, Desmond Bane and Dylan Brooks are those big wing players, the OJ and the Rudy. You got the same team. Just new names and a little bit younger. What I'm getting at is, everybody is asking, should the Grizzlies make a trade or bring in another face? I don't think they will. As the trade deadline looms, I don't think they will. Because it's going to mess up their energy. The mantra for 2022, folks, I'm a walking affirmation that imagination, focus, and patience get you closer to your aspirations. For Troy of Donaldson, for Matasha in the Borough, and for myself, and for SEA-nominated Small Business of the Year, 91 Restoration Kings, in the words of the scholar Jerry Springer, be good to yourself and each other. Have a happy 2022.